Hey everyone, welcome. I am so incredibly excited to dive into this explainer with you today. Let's be real for a second. Have you ever walked down a pharmacy aisle and just stared at those endless rows of bottles? You know the ones, promising to supercharge your memory, sharpen your focus, or protect your brain as you get older. If you have, you are in exactly the right place. Today we are unpacking some fascinating and honestly pretty shocking source material. Our whole goal here is to strip away all that flashy marketing hype and get down to the actual, undeniable medical truth behind popular brain-boosting supplements. We're going to separate the persistent myths from the cold, hard biological reality. So if you're ready to learn how your brain actually works and how to truly protect it, let's get right into it.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a number that literally stopped me in my tracks: 90%. According to the source material from Dr. Kazu, who is a highly experienced neurosurgeon, by the way, 90% of the brain supplements out there are, in his professional medical opinion, essentially just expensive flour. Seriously, think about that for a second. We're talking about a massive, multi-million-dollar industry built entirely on the promise of cognitive enhancement and memory protection. And yet, a medical expert is looking straight at it and telling us that 9 out of 10 of these products are virtually useless for what they advertise.
So, it kind of begs a very direct personal question. Are you paying for expensive flour every single month? Look, the desire to protect our cognitive health is so incredibly valid. As we get older, noticing that we're a bit more forgetful, we're feeling anxious about cognitive decline, that is a genuine, very human fear. The thought process of wanting to do even a little something good for the brain makes total sense. But we really have to challenge ourselves here. We need to rethink where our money and our hope are actually going. Are we making decisions based on real medical science, or are we just buying a feeling of reassurance packed into a little plastic bottle?
Let's get into Section 1, the brain's strict security.
So why do these supplements actually fail? For this, Dr. Kazu relies on his daily experience performing complex surgeries on strokes and tumors to point us toward a fascinating biological concept, the blood-brain barrier. This right here is the core reason why most brain supplements end up being just expensive flour. The blood-brain barrier is essentially a remarkably strict VIP security gate for your brain. Its evolutionary purpose is absolutely vital. It's built to protect your delicate brain tissue from dangerous viruses, harmful bacteria, and lethal toxins that might be floating around in your bloodstream. But here's the catch. This gate is completely impartial. When you swallow a supplement, this barrier takes one look at those highly advertised, fancy ingredients and simply classifies them as foreign bodies. It literally bounces them away. It stops them from ever crossing over into the brain itself.
Let's track the journey of a typical supplement pill to see this in action. When you take a capsule, it obviously doesn't just teleport to your brain, right? First up, step 1. It has to be broken down, digested, and completely decomposed in your stomach and intestines. Then, step 2, it travels over to the liver, where it gets fundamentally altered and metabolized into entirely different substances. Finally, step 3, whatever tiny, microscopic fraction of the original ingredient is left traveling through your bloodstream arrives at the brain's security gate, that blood-brain barrier, and it is heavily blocked. So it is extremely difficult for those magical ingredients listed on the back of the bottle to actually reach your brain in their original effective form. Which brings us to Section 2, the terrifying trap of reassurance.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, so they don't work. What's the harm? It's just a waste of a few bucks, right? Well, actually, the reality is way more serious. We have to talk about the hidden, dangerous consequences of relying on these pills. Because when we rely on something that doesn't work, we become blind to the real problems developing beneath the surface. Dr. Kazu strongly warns that this is a highly dangerous state for patients. It creates this supplement illusion. The most terrifying part is the false sense of security. You tell yourself, hey, I'm taking my supplements, my brain is safe. But behind that illusion, your brain's blood vessels could be silently taking damage, allowing irreversible diseases to just progress totally unchecked. Contrast that with true brain care. As a neurosurgeon, Dr. Kazu says the ultimate way to maintain brain function is to protect your blood vessels. That means aggressively treating lifestyle diseases, managing high blood pressure, diabetes, and dyslipidemia. Doing that is literally hundreds of times more important than swallowing any supplement.
But wait, I hear you asking, what about the ingredients that are scientifically proven to be healthy? Let's clear that up. Ingredients heavily marketed for making blood flow smoothly, stuff like DHA, omega-3s, or various plant extracts, they aren't entirely useless for the human body. They might actually have a positive impact on your general overall blood circulation. But we need to be really precise here.
Improving general blood flow does not mean these substances act as magical potions that directly rejuvenate decaying brain cells. They absolutely do not work as the targeted brain cures they are sold as.
All right, let's pivot to Section 3, the ultimate brain hack.
If we can't buy a quick fix in a bottle, what can we actually do? We need to pivot completely away from marketing myths and focus entirely on real, medically backed, and completely free solutions that actually protect your brain. Before you even think about searching for a new pill, run through this checklist. First, rigorously treat any lifestyle diseases like high blood pressure or diabetes with your doctor. Second, implement a low-salt diet to protect your vascular health. And third, this is amazing, honestly, just make a habit of taking a 20-minute brisk walk every single day. Why? Because the absolute greatest brain training or brain activation you can possibly do is improving the blood flow coming from your heart. When you walk briskly, your heart pumps stronger. It delivers fresh, rich oxygen and vital nutrients directly to the brain. That is how you physically nourish your brain tissue. No pill required.
But exercise and diet are only part of the equation. There is another incredibly powerful treatment, and it happens when you literally close your eyes. Sleep. Think of sleep as the brain's natural water flow cleaning system. While you are sleeping, this remarkable biological mechanism activates. Your brain essentially flushes itself out, kind of like a rushing stream of water washing away accumulated waste products and toxins that build up during your waking hours. This physical cleaning process is absolutely essential for long-term cognitive health.
And how much of this cleaning time do we actually need? The magic target number is 7. Achieving around 7 hours of high-quality sleep is the ultimate goal here. This natural, nightly cleaning cycle works infinitely better and more reliably than any expensive ingredient isolated in a laboratory somewhere. Let me say it again. 7 hours of good sleep genuinely cleans your brain. A capsule of expensive flour absolutely does not.
Moving on to Section 4, signs you should go to the hospital.
While lifestyle changes are hands down the best preventative measure, relying on supplements can sometimes delay real medical care. So we need to know what actual cognitive and neurological red flags look like. These are the signs that require immediate professional attention. If you or a loved one experience mild numbness in the hands or feet, if you suddenly have difficulty speaking or finding the right words, or if you notice a rapid, sudden progression of memory loss, do not go online to look for a stronger supplement. Stop immediately. These are urgent medical signs. You must visit a neurology or neurosurgery clinic right away to get a head MRI. Time is absolutely of the essence when it comes to the brain, and proper medical imaging is the only way to know what is truly happening in there.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this profound concluding thought from our source material. Dr. Kazu states it perfectly. Your time and money should be spent on blood pressure management, exercise, sleep, and proper medical exams. This just beautifully summarizes everything we've talked about today. We have to stop paying monthly subscriptions for unproven, ineffective pills that literally just get blocked by our own biological security systems anyway. Instead, we need to redirect those valuable resources, our time, our energy, and our finances, into the foundational pillars of health that undeniably preserve our blood vessels and our brain tissue.
Which leaves us with one final, pretty massive question for you to ponder. How will you invest your time and money starting tonight? Armed with this precise medical knowledge about the blood-brain barrier, the real dangers of false security, and the proven power of sleep and exercise, the choice is entirely in your hands. Will you keep buying the expensive flour, or will you take real, evidence-based action to protect your lifelong partner, your brain? I really hope this explainer has empowered you to make the absolute best choice for your future. Thank you so much for hanging out and learning with me today. Keep asking great questions, and I'll see you next time.